Freedom is a feeling that refuses to be defined. It is not a road, not a destination, but a state of motion. You can sense it in the hum of an engine that was never built for silence, in the weight of wind pressing against your shoulders, in the rhythm of the highway when the world falls away. Machines that capture that feeling become more than transport. They become symbols, a way to see yourself moving through time. Some machines are made to go faster, smoother, smarter. Others are built to connect you to something older, simpler, and deeply American. The sound, the style, the stance, all speak the same language of independence. What if one motorcycle managed to preserve that essence perfectly, bridging the past and the open horizon ahead? Stay tuned as we ride into the story of a true American icon. And if you enjoy deep dives into legendary machines, like, subscribe, and comment which classic you want to see next. The 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic arrived at a rare crossroads in American motorcycling. It was both a celebration and a statement. As Harley-Davidson marked 100 years of existence, the company sought to craft a motorcycle that embodied its soul rather than reinvent it. The Road King Classic was that expression. An unmistakable blend of heritage and endurance. Its full-skirted fenders, chrome-laden details, and leather-wrapped saddlebags did not chase modern trends. They honored a century of open-road tradition. Yet underneath the vintage cues lay a modern touring chassis designed for comfort and long-distance confidence. Riders instantly recognized it as something different. Not a museum piece, not a sport machine, but a timeless companion meant for the horizon. To understand the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic, you have to step back into the early 2000s. American highways were changing, and so were the expectations of riders. Luxury cars were quieter, electronics were invading dashboards, and the word comfort began to mean insulation rather than experience. Harley saw the world drifting away from the tactile joy of machinery, and the Road King Classic became their counterpoint, a motorcycle that engaged every sense. It did not isolate the rider. It invited participation. The shake of the bars at idle, the slow heartbeat of the twin-cam 88 engine, the mechanical feel of each gear, all contributed to a ritual that no screen could replicate. The engine itself deserves attention. The twin-cam 88, displacing 1,450 cubic centimeters, was Harley-Davidson's answer to the call for refinement without sacrificing character. It delivered around 67 horsepower and roughly 86 pound-feet of torque, tuned for steady pull rather than screaming top-end power. What set it apart was its personality. Every pulse from the 45-degree V-twin translated directly through the chassis, reminding you that motion comes from combustion and metal, not software. Harley spent years refining this engine to reduce heat and vibration while keeping the unmistakable feel intact. Oil circulation was improved, crankcases were strengthened, and balance shafts were deliberately omitted to maintain that visceral connection between rider and machine. But the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic was more than numbers and torque curves. It was an aesthetic statement that managed to balance nostalgia with authority. Chrome nacelles surrounded the single headlamp like a crown. Wide handlebars encouraged a commanding riding posture, and the full touring seat was sculpted for comfort across hundreds of miles. The spoked wheels and white wall tires looked lifted from a bygone era, yet they were engineered for modern stability. Harley's design language in this model spoke softly but confidently. This is how freedom should look, sound, and feel. Each detail told a story. The tank badge featured the Centennial logo, reminding owners they were riding a piece of history. The deep fenders weren't just decorative. They channeled rain away from the rider during cross-country journeys. The detachable windshield turned it from a boulevard cruiser into a highway warrior within minutes. Even the saddlebag latches had a tactile satisfaction that reflected the company's craftsmanship philosophy. Nothing on the 2003 Road King Classic felt rushed or outsourced. It was designed as if it would be judged by generations, not model years. Harley-Davidson also knew that a motorcycle like this would need to live up to its heritage on the road. The frame was a steel backbone structure that provided steady handling for its considerable weight. At nearly 760 pounds wet, it was no lightweight, but its balance made it surprisingly manageable. The long wheelbase created stability even at high speeds, while the air-adjustable rear shocks allowed riders to fine-tune comfort for solo or two-up travel. The brakes were updated with twin front discs, ensuring the Classic could slow its mass with confidence, a nod to safety in an increasingly demanding touring landscape. For many riders, The 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic was their introduction to true long-distance freedom. It wasn't about corner carving or acceleration contests. It was about the unbroken ribbon of asphalt stretching ahead. Cross-country trips, rallies, and weekend escapes became rites of passage. Each trip added patina to the chrome, each bug mark on the windshield a badge of honor. To own a Road King Classic wasn't just to own a motorcycle. It was to join a culture that valued the journey as much as the destination. Critics at the time debated whether Harley's refusal to chase performance metrics was holding the company back. Some compared it to more advanced touring bikes from other manufacturers, noting smoother engines or lighter frames. Yet what those comparisons missed was intention. The 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic wasn't trying to be the fastest or most efficient. It was designed to preserve the sensory essence of motorcycling, the kind that defines identity as much as transportation. It resisted automation in favor of authenticity. That deliberate choice made it one of the last truly analog grand tourers in a digitalizing era. In the showroom, the Road King Classic carried a premium price, but it also offered something few machines could: a century of heritage you could feel through your gloves. Riders saw it not just as a purchase, but as participation in an unbroken lineage. The centennial badging turned each model into a collector's piece the moment it rolled off the line. It spoke to riders who remembered when machines demanded patience and rewarded skill. Every curve of chrome, every leather strap, and every deep exhaust note carried that message. Harley-Davidson also used the Road King Classic as a technological bridge. While the motorcycle remained rooted in mechanical tradition, the company quietly introduced improvements that would shape its future lineup. Improved wiring harnesses, higher capacity alternators, and refined ignition mapping prepared the brand for an eventual evolution toward fuel injection and advanced touring electronics. Yet in 2003, it still maintained the soul of the carbureted experience: direct, raw, and responsive. Even in its color palette, the Road King Classic told a story. The two-tone paint options paid tribute to mid-century styling, while solid finishes like vivid black or gunmetal pearl emphasized its commanding presence. Harley understood that color was not just aesthetic, it was identity. Owners chose hues that reflected their personality, and Harley gave them finishes that would age gracefully over decades. The company's paint quality in that era became a quiet benchmark in the industry, proof that attention to surface detail mattered as much as mechanical precision. There was something deeply American about the way the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic carried itself. It didn't need to prove superiority through numbers. It relied on presence. Parked among a crowd, it drew attention not because it shouted, but because it resonated. Its proportions, its gleaming surfaces, and its steady stance projected confidence born of endurance. Riders knew they weren't just sitting on a product. They were continuing a story that began in 1903 with two young men in a shed in Milwaukee. The 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic carried forward a design language that was deeply familiar, yet subtly improved for its era. Harley-Davidson engineers had mastered the art of evolutionary change. They understood that their riders valued consistency over disruption. This model exemplified that balance, blending old-world craftsmanship with practical refinements. At the heart of this philosophy was the desire to make every ride feel timeless without feeling dated. The Road King Classic's chassis, powertrain, and ergonomics reflected the company's understanding of what made touring both an adventure and a meditation. The Road King Classic's frame geometry contributed greatly to its characteristic ride. The steel backbone design delivered rigidity while maintaining a degree of flexibility that made long distances less fatiguing. Its weight distribution encouraged stability rather than agility. Harley prioritized predictability over razor-sharp precision. On open highways, that choice paid off. The long wheelbase absorbed crosswinds, and the wide handlebars provided steady leverage at low speeds. Riders often described it as a machine that rewarded rhythm and patience. The slower you tried to rush it, the better it performed. It wanted you to settle into the road's tempo. In the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic, the seat height and footboard placement were deliberate. Touring bikes require long-term ergonomics, and Harley's designers measured success by hours of comfort, not minutes of excitement. The floorboards offered relaxed leg extension, reducing knee fatigue on extended rides. The seat cushioning combined density and depth, allowing riders to remain upright and balanced without strain. On multi-day journeys, these small considerations became crucial. Fatigue is the silent enemy of endurance riding. Harley-Davidson designed this motorcycle to outlast its riders' hesitation. The sound of the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic became its signature language. The exhaust note was tuned not merely for compliance, but for identity. Engineers refined the baffles to maintain the iconic Harley rumble while ensuring it met tightening global noise standards. That low-frequency resonance defined its presence. It wasn't loud aggression. It was authority. The tone reminded bystanders that this machine represented history in motion. Many owners spoke of starting the engine just to hear that slow heartbeat idle before even leaving the garage. It became a ritual, mechanical meditation before adventure. Harley-Davidson's approach to instrumentation in 2003 was minimalist yet elegant. A large central speedometer dominated the tank console, surrounded by clean chrome and simple indicator lights. There was no overload of data, no digital clutter. Instead, the focus remained on the essentials: speed, distance, and fuel. That simplicity kept the rider's attention where it belonged, on the journey, the landscape, and the sound of the engine. In a sense, the Road King Classic resisted the information age with quiet confidence. It trusted the rider to feel rather than measure the ride. Durability was another defining trait of the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic. Owners valued reliability as much as aesthetics, and Harley's engineers invested in materials that aged gracefully. The paint finish was layered and baked for deep gloss retention, while the chrome components were heavily plated to resist corrosion. The saddlebags, made from genuine leather, developed patina rather than decay, telling the story of miles traveled. Maintenance schedules were straightforward, with easy access to oil filters and battery terminals. In a world moving toward sealed systems and hidden screws, the Road King Classic remained proudly serviceable. The cultural role of the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic cannot be overstated. This motorcycle arrived at a time when the concept of freedom itself was being reconsidered in America. Post-2000, the world felt uncertain. Security and technology were reshaping daily life. Amid that climate, the Road King Classic reminded people that there was still a way to experience authenticity. You could pack your bags, point toward the horizon, and let miles replace headlines. It wasn't rebellion. It was reclamation of personal space. Harley-Davidson, knowingly or not, offered an antidote to a digital age: the analog highway. While performance numbers never defined it, the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic was no slouch. The twin-cam 88 provided strong low-end torque ideal for two-up touring. The power delivery was smooth and consistent, allowing overtakes on highways with minimal effort. Coupled with a 5-speed transmission and belt final drive, it achieved a balance of strength and quiet operation. The belt, in particular, reduced vibration and maintenance compared to traditional chains. Another example of Harley's blend of tradition and practicality. These choices proved that refinement did not have to erase personality. Handling such a large motorcycle required composure, and the Road King Classic rewarded experienced riders who respected its rhythm. It leaned predictably, resisted twitchiness, and returned to center with natural self-correction. In urban environments, it demanded attention, but on wide-open roads it transformed into a rolling companion. Riders often described moments of synchronization where machine and rider moved as one continuous motion. That sensation, rare and addictive, defined the Harley touring experience. The Road King Classic offered not just performance but connection, a word often used but seldom achieved. The 2003 model year was also significant because it represented the last Harley touring generation before major technological changes took hold. In later years, fuel injection, ride-by-wire systems, and electronic suspension adjustments would become standard. While those innovations improved efficiency, they also marked the end of a mechanical era. The Road King Classic, with its carbureted setup and tangible throttle response, became the last of its kind in many garages. Collectors began to view it as the final chapter of Harley's analog touring lineage, a turning point between heritage and modernization. Beyond the mechanical and cultural factors, the ownership experience defined the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic. Dealership networks played a pivotal role in community building. Harley-Davidson's focus on brand lifestyle turned each showroom visit into a social ritual. Group rides, rallies, and anniversary celebrations connected riders nationwide. The Centennial branding intensified that connection. It was more than merchandise, it was belonging. Owning a 2003 Road King Classic meant you were part of a global brotherhood that celebrated craftsmanship and independence. For riders transitioning from smaller motorcycles, the Road King Classic represented aspiration. Its size and price commanded respect, but it rewarded those who approached it with skill and patience. Veterans of the touring world appreciated its balance between luxury and purity. There were heavier, faster, or more complex motorcycles available, but none carried the same soul. That intangible quality made the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic a bridge between personal expression and engineering. It wasn't just what you rode, it was how you felt when you arrived. The legacy of the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic is not just measured in chrome or miles. It lives in how it redefined the emotional core of touring motorcycles. As the years passed, the model evolved, but that particular version stood apart as a bridge between simplicity and progress. It marked the final flourish of Harley's Centennial era and the last time riders could experience a large displacement touring cruiser without digital interference. The 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic was the moment when engineering discipline and artistic identity aligned perfectly, producing a motorcycle that carried history on its frame and freedom in its exhaust note. Collectors and longtime owners often speak of the Road King Classic with reverence, not because of rarity but because of resonance. It resonates with authenticity. The design choices made in 2003 now read like declarations of purpose. The carbureted engine, the manual choke, the mechanical throttle response, all details that became obsolete within a few short years, now feel precious. When you start that twin-cam 88 today, you're not just starting a machine. You're reviving a way of thinking. It's about control, patience, and engagement. Harley-Davidson, through the Road King Classic, created a motorcycle that demanded the rider's attention in the best possible way. The emotional value of such engagement cannot be overstated. Riding the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic teaches presence. You feel every vibration through the bars, every nuance of the road through the seat, every rhythm of acceleration as a conversation between hand and throttle. In an age that increasingly mediates sensation through technology, the Road King Classic stands as an artifact of purity. It reminds us that connection can be mechanical, that joy can come from effort, and that freedom often requires weight, both literal and symbolic. Visually, the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic continues to set a design benchmark. Few motorcycles balance proportion and elegance the way it does. The broad front fender, inspired by 1950s touring Harleys, flows into a tank that curves seamlessly toward the rider. Chrome accents aren't decorative excess. They act as highlights, emphasizing contours rather than overwhelming them. The windshield's gentle arc complements the classic headlamp nacelle, creating a face recognized instantly by riders around the world. From a distance, it looks monumental. Up close, it feels personal. Every curve serves both beauty and purpose. Functionally, the Road King Classic proved that classic aesthetics could coexist with modern usability. Its wide, cushioned seat made long rides genuinely comfortable. The air-adjustable rear suspension allowed quick adaptation for luggage or passengers. The floorboards encouraged posture that prevented fatigue on long days. Harley's understanding of body mechanics resulted in a machine that could carry a rider from dawn to dusk without complaint. Touring isn't just about power, it's about endurance, and the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic excelled at that craft. The cultural presence of the model only grew with time. It became the backdrop for countless journeys, coast-to-coast rides, Route 66 pilgrimages, cross-border adventures. Every photo of a Road King Classic in motion seemed to contain the same essence, an individual framed by infinite space. The motorcycle wasn't posing. It was doing what it was built for. That imagery turned it into an icon beyond the Harley-Davidson community. Even people who never rode could recognize its silhouette and understand its symbolism. It became shorthand for the American road. By the mid-2010s, as Harley introduced new frames, engines, and infotainment systems, a shift occurred in how enthusiasts viewed the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic. What was once a current model became a benchmark of simplicity. Riders nostalgic for analog control began seeking out well-preserved examples. Online forums and restoration communities flourished, exchanging advice on preserving original finishes, authentic hardware, and period-correct exhaust systems. Unlike many motorcycles that fade into obscurity after production ends, the 2003 Road King Classic gained stature with age. Its combination of centennial symbolism and mechanical honesty made it a collector's cornerstone. Restoring one of these motorcycles reveals the depth of its craftsmanship. The chrome retains its luster with proper care. The paint, when polished, glows with mirror-like depth. Even components that show wear, saddle stitching, faded grips, worn pegs, carry charm rather than blemish. Owners often describe the process of bringing one back to pristine condition as therapeutic. The machine rewards attention. It was built to be maintained, not discarded. Each bolt feels like it was designed for human hands, not robotic assembly. This human-centered engineering philosophy keeps the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic alive decades later. The motorcycle also represented a philosophical crossroad for the brand. Harley-Davidson, aware of shifting demographics and global competition, was preparing for the next century. Yet the 2003 Road King Classic reminded everyone, including the company itself, that innovation could never come at the expense of identity. The bike's success reinforced the value of heritage as a competitive advantage. While others chased futuristic designs, Harley proved that authenticity sells because it connects. The Road King Classic's appeal wasn't nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. It was a reaffirmation that emotional engineering matters as much as technical engineering. There's an irony to how modern motorcycling culture views the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic. At its release, some critics dismissed it as conservative, too faithful to the past. 2 decades later, that same conservatism reads as foresight. It resisted trends that proved fleeting. Its design aged not as old-fashioned but as timeless. In an industry defined by change, endurance becomes radical. That's why, at bike meets and vintage events, a clean 2003 Road King Classic still commands respect. It tells the story of a brand that understood the power of continuity. The real secret of its longevity lies in emotion. The 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic was built around feeling. The way the throttle rolled, the seat embraced, the engine pulsed. Those sensations formed a bond that statistics can't quantify. Riders formed memories inseparable from the machine itself. They remember the exact tone of its idle, the vibration at certain RPMs, the first long ride on an open highway. These sensory anchors outlast trends, technology, and even ownership. Many riders who sold theirs years ago still recall it with unmatched clarity, a sign of how deeply it imprinted itself on their experiences. It also carried forward Harley-Davidson's contribution to design language. The Road King Classic demonstrated that heavy could be elegant, that chrome could express restraint, and that sound could convey emotion more effectively than performance numbers. Its presence in cultural media, from documentaries to road trip photography, reinforced that image. The machine symbolized reliability not just mechanically, but emotionally. It looked like something you could trust. And that perception mattered as much as any technical feature. The 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic represents a closing chapter in one story and the beginning of another. It bridged Harley-Davidson's first century and the world that followed, capturing an identity that many feared might fade with time. When riders today look back on that model, they see more than machinery. They see a distillation of purpose. Every element of the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic, from its polished chrome to its steady heartbeat, reflects a moment when craftsmanship, culture, and emotion converged into something unrepeatable. Its legacy endures because it made freedom tangible. What truly set this motorcycle apart was its refusal to be defined by performance metrics or technological innovation. It defined itself through feeling. The 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic did not chase trends or rely on marketing spectacle. Instead, it reminded people that riding is about connection, to the road, to the machine, and to oneself. It reintroduced patience in a world that valued speed, and contemplation in a culture addicted to acceleration. That subtle defiance is what gives it lasting influence across generations of riders. In retrospect, it is clear that Harley-Davidson built the Road King Classic as more than a commemorative edition. It was a statement of confidence, proof that heritage can coexist with progress. The centennial badging celebrated the past, but the engineering quietly prepared for the future. That balance, rare and deliberate, is why this model remains admired today. It carried forward the tactile beauty of analog motorcycling, while introducing improvements that would later define Harley's touring evolution. It was both conclusion and foundation. Collectors and restorers continue to treat the 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic with reverence. They see it as a touchstone, the last great mechanical expression before digital refinement took over. Each restoration brings with it the satisfaction of preserving an experience that modern machines cannot replicate. The process itself becomes an act of respect, not just for the brand, but for an era when the connection between rider and engine was purely mechanical. Its place in history is secure because it symbolizes something universal: the enduring American idea of freedom as personal motion. When you see one gliding down a sunlit highway, saddlebags packed, windshield glinting, you understand why it mattered. It's not nostalgia. It's continuity. The 2003 Harley-Davidson Road King Classic captures the sound of history still moving forward, 1 mile at a time. Every brand dreams of creating a machine that becomes larger than its purpose, something that stands for identity itself. Harley-Davidson achieved that in 2003. The Road King Classic remains proof that authenticity, when engineered with care, never goes out of style. Its legacy rides on, not only in collectors' garages or at vintage rallies, but in every rider who still believes that freedom begins with a key, a road, and a machine that answers to no one but its own rhythm.